unless you're a Sagittarius. And I normally would charge for this, but because I am a generous Sagittarius queen, I'm gonna give it to you for free. So here's some game for free. Do you know why Sagittarius is the luckiest zodiac sign in astrology? It's because we are generally happy for other people. And we generally want to see other people win. Because whenever we see somebody winning, it reminds us that God is the greatest. It reminds us that God is the best artist that could ever be. It reminds us of God's powers. Over 8 billion people on this earth. Over 8 billion. And not 2 of them are alike. Do you know what level of creativity? For those of you that are creatives like me, like the creative types that are into the arts, do you know what level of creativity it takes to make 8 billion or over 8 billion of anything, whether it's a painting, a picture, or whatever, a song, and not 2 of them are alike? Let's take it a step further. God creates scenarios in this universe, in the physical realm, where a sperm can enter an egg. And then after that egg gets fertilized, that egg gets split into 2. And it creates 2 different human beings. Let's put that in the physical realm in another context. Imagine cooking a meal. Have you ever been able to cook a meal where you put the same ingredients in your recipe and you cooked the entire meal with the same ingredients? And when it came time to serve the meal, when you plated the meal, you got 2 separate different meals. This is what happens when a woman gives birth to identical twins, because even identical twins are not identical. That is how creative God is. Those of you who feel like you don't have a luck or blessing or God's favor, the reason is because you don't know how to be happy for other people. And what that means is that you have a spirit of competition in you. You have a spirit of envy in you. You have a spirit of jealousy in you. And that spirit of jealousy and envy and competition, that makes you feel like in any circle that you're a part of, you have to be the best. And if you're not the best, you have to create a smear campaign to tarnish other people's reputation, put people down, make fun of people, create little group texts to shame people so you can feel like you're doing something. That spirit of competition, that is why you're stuck. That is why you're broke. That is why you're miserable. And that is why you will remain broke, miserable, unhappy until you get some gratitude in your heart. Sagittarius is not the luckiest zodiac sign because Sagittarius is the most intelligent, the hardworking, the most creative. It's because Sagittarius is the most grateful and good-hearted. We generally are happy for people because we know all good things come from God. So if somebody has something that I want, I'm not mad at them for having it because God gave it to them. When I am mad at them for having it, and when I'm shitting on them for having it, guess who I'm shitting on? God. I'm shitting on God. I'm saying, God, you are stupid. You don't know what you're doing. You do not have power. You do not have control. You are a total idiot for giving this to this person. You are not a good God. You don't know how to do your job. I'm better at doing your job than you. That's what we're saying. That's what you're saying. When you're putting yourself in opposition to God, you're saying that you're better than God. That is a narcissistic, egotistical spirit that will never get you to God's blessings. Because the people that get to God's blessings are the people that are God's feet, like little children, hopeful, joyful, begging for some of God's goods, hoping for God's favor. And whenever we get any of it, we're grateful for it. So if you want to increase your ability to manifest good things in your life, you need to increase your gratitude. So those of you that struggle with the spirit of envy, Scorpio, Taurus, Virgo, you know who you are. Gemini, only socially, if Gemini is not getting enough attention and other people are getting more attention, yes. Leo wants to be the best at everything, so they definitely do not like it when other people are doing better than them. You know who you are, right? And this is not just at the sun sign. It's also at the moon and at the Mars sign. Your battle is never with your brother or your sister. The birds don't pick what colors they are. The butterflies don't pick who gets to be a butterfly and who does not get to be a butterfly. Do you know that moths and butterflies start the same way? And then God separates them. Some of them fly at night, moths. Some of them fly during the day, butterflies. We don't get to choose whether we're moth or butterfly. We just pray to God that we be on the right side of history. It's not about It's not about the flashy things, baby. The flashy things have to be in your heart. We manifest what we are. We don't manifest what we want. When your heart is already grateful for what you have, you get more. Because God knows the more you're given, the more you will praise God, which is why we're here, to let our light shine so we can remind everybody of God's greatness and glory. Because he was never about me and you. And he was always about what? Spirit. Okay? So bring it back to spirit. Take your eye off of your brother and your sister. Take your evil eye off of your brother and your sister. Bring that eye to yourself. Focus on what you need to do to align with spirit, so spirit has favor upon you to bless you with all of the goodies that you need and more than what you need. Because what? Sagittarius being one of the most generous zodiac sign right along with Leo, when you give us good things, when spirit gives us good things, guess what we do? We share it. We take it so we can share it. The people that share, the people that say thank you, are the people that spirit trusts with things. The people that hoard, the people that are ungrateful, and the people that are bitter. Okay? No matter how many blessings God gives them, who always finds a way to be miserable and bitter because they don't have what the next person has, guess what? God knows that there's no amount that can be given to that person for them to find gratitude, find peace. So it's wasteful. It would be a waste for me to put my gifts in the hands of someone that is already ungrateful for all the other gifts that I've given them. The ability to see, the ability to speak, the ability to breathe, the ability to touch, the ability to walk, the ability to talk. What are you doing with all those five senses? How are you using them to make this world a better place? If the answer to that is nothing, let's start there.
Get to talking about love and romance and marriage and children. Do you love yourself enough for those things? Are you worthy of those things? How do you demonstrate that you're worthy of those things? And if you're not worthy of those things, when those things are given to you, you will not find pleasure in them, because the energetic vibration you're bringing to these things is debasing the quality of those things. God has given you a top tier love partner. And what have you done? Created hell on earth in your home with this person, when this person was a literal blessing to your life. Whose fault is that? It's so fascinating to me. Every time I talk about the lucky zodiac signs like Libra, Taurus, Sagittarius, and one of these signs comes along and they're like, I'm not lucky, where's my luck? What have you done with all the other things God gave you? What have you done with all of the luck you already have? You have the ability to speak. What are you doing with it? Are you using your voice to uplift people, or are you using your voice to tear people down? Ability to see. What are you doing with your eye? Are you looking at beautiful things so you can praise God and see how loved you are, that God made all beautiful things and made you because you are that dope? Or are you using your eyes to look at like so you can judge other people? What are you doing with the gifts that are already given to you? A person who is not responsible with the gifts that are given to them does not get more gifts. Why is that not common sense? That if you cannot handle the bare minimum as a loving parent, which is the universe, God, I'm not gonna give you more. Why isn't that common sense for some of y'all? And you're asking me, where's your luck? What have you done with what was given to you? If you're only using your mouth to tear people down, no, I'm not giving you good things. You obviously don't know what your mouth was made for. It was not to gossip and tear people down, I promise you. You want good things, but you want to not be good. Make it make sense. Let's just use our common sense. If you want good love, you gotta be a good lover. You think it's magic? You think you don't have to work? You could just be lazy and things just fall in your mouth. That's not how that works. The things that are keeping you from loving yourself deeply, which is why you're cruel to other humans, you need to heal those things. Because people who love themselves do not hate other humans. That's what it's about. It's about our own healing. Because it's only from that place that we can love others. If we do not love ourselves, there is no amount of love that a human being is going to be able to provide to us that will make our cup feel full. That's not how it works. It starts from the inside out, not outside in. Some of y'all got the direction wrong, and that's why you're miserable. And you keep asking, when are my blessings coming? When is the love of my life coming? Are you ready for the love of your life? Do you have the kind of love that the love of your life deserves? The way that you love, is that the way that the love of your life wants to be loved? The way that you love yourself. If you love somebody else the way that you love yourself, would that be satisfied? The way that you talk to yourself, the way that you treat yourself. If you treated somebody else that way and you talk to somebody else the way you talk to yourself, will they be satisfied? If the answer is no, then let's work on you. Because the shitty love you're giving to yourself, the other person has the right to refuse that. Do you understand? It all starts and ends with you. All of it. If you can be grateful in the little things, you get more. If you say thank you for the little things, you get more. But if your heart is so ungrateful that all you can do is look to see what that person isn't, what that person doesn't have, what that person will never be, guess what? You're going to be given more misery, because clearly misery is what makes your mouth and your heart sing. If you want a love that is pure, your heart needs to be pure. If you want a love that is real, you need to be real. If you want a love that is authentic, you cannot be two-faced. Do you see that? So we've got work to do, okay? We've got work to do. Before we can get to other people, we've got work to do. Everybody deserves love, but self-love is God's love. That is the purest love you can find. It doesn't get more pure than that. Romantic love is never going to be as pure as self-love, because all of us are wounded and broken. So you cannot bring your brokenness and I bring my brokenness, and you think we're going to come together and where our love is just going to be without problems. It's not realistic. Our love is not going to be without problems because we're both wounded. But when we heal, it doesn't mean those wounds aren't there anymore. It means we have increased our awareness, our cognition, our emotional, spiritual intelligence. So when we are triggered, we can go, I react that way because when I was little, my mom used to do this thing that made me feel that way, and that's why I'm acting that way towards you. I'm sorry, baby. That's not your issue. That's my issue. I need to work on that. Do you see that? How many of you are willing to do that work? That's what being pure is about. It's about not wearing a mask. It's about not hiding your shit. It's about not pretending to be better than you are. It's about being a sincere, authentic, and decent human being with an honest and decent heart. That is what the love of your life deserves. So are you ready for the love of your life? I just want you to think about that. Okay? So before we talk about who's compatible with me, I want you to think about whether your heart is ready for the love of your life. And if the way that you're currently loving yourself is adequate for another adult human being. Okay? I love y'all.
Continuing our discussions on the mutable signs, we're talking about Sagittarius, Virgo, Gemini, and Pisces. The question today is, can mutable signs date one another? I have to be honest and straightforward with you. Out of all of the modalities, the cardinal, the fixed, and the mutable, I think the mutables are where I go, no. You know, the other two, I can see them working it out. But with the mutables, there's just way too much chaotic energy here for any of these to be stable matches. Now, does this mean that these people cannot get married and have long-term marriages? They can, but is it going to be a stable, comfortable situation? No. These matches are probably some of the most rocky, chaotic matches that you've ever heard of in your entire life. Let me explain to you why. Number one, all of these mutables are terrible at love. The reason for it is because honestly, none of them need it to feel fulfilled. None of them. Sagittarius does not need to be in a relationship to be fulfilled. They need adventure. They need fun. They need lots of friends. This is why when Sagittarius gets in a relationship, they actually end up treating their friends much better than their partner. Virgo does not need to be in a relationship. Virgo actually enjoys their own company a lot more than they enjoy humans because they get irritated by most of us. Gemini loves the idea of being in a relationship. Out of all of them, Gemini is actually the most excited about being in a relationship. But Gemini does not like things that are not fun. Gemini does not like things that don't involve levity. Gemini likes fun and humor and lightheartedness. And marriage is not that. Marriage is work. Marriage or long-term monogamous relationship requires commitment, heavy lifting, talking about uncomfortable things and triggers and traumas. And Gemini is not really wanting to do all that. Pisces loves the fantasy of the relationship, But Pisces doesn't really want to be getting into the dirt and the messiness of love. So Pisces also is not really too keen on doing all of that hard labor for long-term relationships. So in short, when you have two people that are terrible at relationship and commitment, or that are ambivalent about it, trying to have a monogamous long-term relationship, you can see how that will bring about a lot of chaos. Because they're not bred for this. They're not made for this. They have to be convinced to settle down. These people need someone who's going to make a strong case for why they should give up their freedom to be in a relationship with them. Sagittarius is a commitment phobe. They don't want to be tied down. Virgo is delusional about love, just as Pisces is, except Virgo thinks they're perfect, so they tend to pick projects, people that they think are messed up so they can fix them. Gemini doesn't know what they want. They can't seem to decide. They're just as non-committal as Sagittarius. And then Pisces thinks the person is perfect until they find out they're not.